Let me tell you about this guy, Timothy Lee Forbes. He's 34 years old. This took place in Springfield, Massachusetts. It was a 5th and 6th graders is who he coaches. Took place in Springfield, Massachusetts. And it was the championship game. His team unfortunately lost. And he decided to, as they usually do, post-game handshakes.
I'm sorry, what sport is this?
Basketball. Okay. That's a fair point. In the ritual congratulatory handshakes, he did not shake the opposing coach's hand. Again, Forbes is 34 and an assistant coach. He attacks the opposing coach. They wrestle on the ground. 5th and 6th graders are watching all of this as it happens in the gym. And then he bites the ear of the opposing coach. And then he flees the scene.
While in line to shake hands with the opposing team, this defendant attacked him without any warning. He attempted to kick at him, was able to get a hold of him, began striking him in the face and body with his fist. As they were wrestling, he then bit the victim's left ear. A good chunk came off, and the defendant subsequently fled.
Forbes is now facing multiple charges, including mayhem, which is a felony. Springfield police were called to the Holy Name Gymnasium Friday after the team lost the big game. It was part of the Catholic Youth Organization League, but police say Forbes didn't show good sportsmanship.
A tragedy. It should never taken place. Parents should leave sports to the kids. Be there to cheer your kids on, but leave it at that.
So obviously the entire thing is what I have a problem with. However, he had a history of assault and battery and kidnapping. So I guess my point is, why would you even let him get into the league as a coach with a history like this?
Well, it depends. I mean, these charges sound very, very serious, but assault and battery, that could just be a fight. And kidnapping is technically any time when you take someone and you just kind of take them away and prevent them from leaving. So it's not actually abducting a child. That's kidnapping. But if let's say I took you and threw you into my car and I drove you somewhere against your will, that's technically kidnapping as well.
So he held someone against his will?
Yes, yes.
So I mean, would you let him coach your son's team?
I would not.
So why was he coaching in the first place? I mean, that's something that I really have a problem with. He's been coaching in the league for a few years. The injured coach had his 2 sons on his team, so they witnessed it. And Forbes' son, who is now charged with mayhem, assault and battery, among a few other charges, his son was on his team. So there's nothing good that comes about this at all.
This guy sounds unstable. I mean, it seems weird to just attack someone after the game like that as you're shaking hands. Something is off about him.
What do you think happened?
Or we just don't know enough facts. I mean, maybe in the report, I think I heard that he and the coach that he fought with coached a team together on some prior occasion. So there's some history. They know each other. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they were ex-gay lovers. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we don't have enough facts here.
I mean, I just think, like, as a coach, you're a role model for 5th and 6th grade kids, and even if you had a past with this guy, just shake his hand.
Well, look, I mean, obviously the guy's an idiot and he did something crazy, but what are you going to do? We have crazy idiots in our midst. What are you going to do? It happens, and look, we have child molesters who are teaching our kids. I mean, they get caught all the time. We have teachers having sex with children. So it's no surprise to me that we have someone who works with a school, who works with children, who is a crazy person. Look at Sandusky, for example. I mean, and that went on for years.
Yeah.
So, if the question is, how do we let such a bad person near our kids? The answer is, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. If the question is, what can we do better about screening them? We can do a lot of things better. First of all, check the guys.
Background check?
Yeah, background check. A clear criminal history like this. I mean, you don't want someone having kidnapping on the record, no matter what the facts may actually have been. If it's on the record, you don't want someone with kidnapping near your kids.
Yeah.
It's a bad combination.
I mean, John's laughing in the background. I mean, obviously there's something wrong with it. The injured coach, by the way, having surgery to reattach part of his ear.
All right.
So,
aside from being a crazy person, this guy, who fights and bites someone's ear?
Mike Tyson?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
But you do that if you're a crazy person, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you and I got into a fight, I'll probably kick your ass. But I wouldn't bite your ear, okay? You know,
You wouldn't go that low as to bite my ear?
First of all, if you and I really
What
got
if I
into-
were kicking your ass? Would you bite my ear then?
All right,
To try and get a
let me
leg
just
up?
tell you what would actually happen if you and I got into a fight. It would be like the fight between Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning. It would be like this. Right? And Jesus will be grabbing her ankles. Guys, cut it out, cut it out. Here's what wouldn't happen, where we're landing blows and we just keep going at it. Whoever lands the first blow is the winner.
We could do Rochambeau. You know what Rochambeau is?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, the rock, paper, scissors stuff.
No. Rochambeau, you clearly don't watch South Park.
No.
John's laughing again in the background. Rochambeau is where we trade shots, kicking each other in the nuts. So I
Okay.
kick you in the nuts
No.
first. You kick. Then if you fall, I win. But if you kick me in the nuts and I fall, you win.
Okay. No, we're not doing Rochambeau. Sounds like a horrible idea. The worst idea I've ever heard in my entire life.